For so long, I was living my life, oh so wrong.
Hey everybody, it's Ken with AMN. How's it going, everybody? I'm back. I haven't made a video in a while, and I actually just got back from Las Vegas this evening, and it's still kind of fresh on my mind, so I kind of wanted to just run down what happened in Las Vegas. I mean, just to preface it, I went to Reno for 3 days. I flew from Philadelphia to Vegas to Reno, spent 3 days in Reno, got on an airplane, and came to Las Vegas, where I had checked into the Bellagio. I was given a room far from the check-in desk in the completely other tower. So I went on a hike. I'm currently running on one leg brace because my other leg brace broke. I get the new one. It's still under warranty. I get the new one next week. So I'm kind of running on, as I said, I'm running on one good leg. Well, I was running on one good leg. And I checked in, met up with my friends. We went in downtown Vegas to Fremont Street. We went to one of the new casinos, Circa. A lot of fun, had a lot of fun. I went to, I had a voucher. I had won some money, and I was heading to the ticket machine. I had a glass in my hand that still had some ice cubes in it. Wasn't really. I had one drink the whole time I was there, so I wasn't really intoxicated or anything like that. And I'm fairly certain I'm steaming it that it's hand sanitizer. It was like a hand sanitizer dispenser of some sort, and there was a round base on it. Somehow my foot hit it, even though it was out of the way. So my foot hit it, and down I went. Down I went. Because with like most people would probably hit it and then they'd be able to catch themselves. With AMN, forget about it. I'm down. So there I'm down, and everyone's like, "You okay? You okay?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm fine." I'm like, I do this all the time. I fall all the time, you know. So like, it's like I'm fine, you know. Although it was kind of funny, like one of the guy that came over in the suit from the casino is like, "Would you like another drink?" Like, that's one of the weirdest first things to ask. Kind of like, "Are you okay? Would you like another drink?" You know, but I was just like, I'm okay. And I kind of brushed it off, and I walked out of there. So I'm in downtown Vegas, Fremont Street. If you're familiar with Fremont Street, they've got the big canopy. And I went to a couple different casinos. Okay, you know. I was there with my friends Dave and Ross. I want to give them a shout out because they were a huge help in the whole mess. Which turned into a whole mess. I'm fine. I'm walking, but again, I think at this point I was in shock from the fall. I kind of went down on my knee. I shook it off, and I'm walking, and I'm fine. Again, we went to a couple different casinos, and I went to the last casino, which was the D, which ironically the same guy owns the D that owns the new Circa. So it's like my leg's starting to feel a little iffy, and we're walking, and it's kind of like giving out a little bit. And it wasn't almost towards the end when we were getting ready to leave where my leg was really starting to give, and I let loose, and I went down again. I'm like, oh my gosh. So and it's always my left leg, and I went down on my left leg, and I hit my knee, and 2 times down, forget about it. And at this point, it was hard. Both times were hard to get up, but this time it was hard to get up. And my feet, I couldn't get them pushed apart. And there I was, and the guy, I'll give a shout out to the guy from the D. That guy was very helpful. But although it was kind of ironic again, I had my cane, and he came over, and his first thing was, "Have you been drinking?" Because that probably happens a lot in Las Vegas. A lot of people fall from drinking. I'm like, no. I did have one drink I got one drink, but probably about an hour before, you know. So, but definitely wasn't alcohol related. And he kind of felt like an ass, I think, because I'm like, and he saw my cane, and then he's like, "Oh, okay." And We struggled a lot to try to get up, and then finally they had like a ticket cash out machine that I was pretty much able to get over. I was able to pull myself up, because I still got good upper body strength. I pulled myself up, and there I was, but unfortunately I couldn't walk. My legs just were not having any bit of it. So the guy's like, "Do you need a wheelchair?" I'm like, "Yes, put me in a wheelchair." So he got me a wheelchair. And then he thought I was staying there, and I'm like, no, we were trying to get back to the Strip. My friends were staying at Planet Hollywood, Dave and Ross. So they wheeled me out. We finally got a taxi. I got in the taxi. We got to Planet Hollywood, got out, just stood there. And then those guys went over and they got me to stay regular wheelchair. And then they wheeled me over there, and then they had one scooter left. I was able to rent a scooter, which actually turned out to be the most awesome thing. And I'm getting one every time now, I think, if I go to Las Vegas. But it was $50 a day, but it saved my Vegas trip. It did. It was kind of one of those things like, I have AMN, but I'm still doing Vegas. And I did Vegas with that scooter. We went all over the place, and even by that evening, my leg still was a little but I was able to walk around the hotel room, go to the bathroom. The next morning I got up, I took a shower, no issues. My knee really didn't give out much, but it was still a little tender, mind you, but so just like to wrap up the whole situation, like, for one, it's just, oh my gosh, it's embarrassing, especially like I've had incidents where I've had too much to drink in Atlantic City, and I can blame it on alcohol, but this was not alcohol. This was AMN. This was it, and it sucked. It sucked. You go down and you just can't. You don't have enough leg strength to push yourself back up. But yeah, so. Again, in this situation, thank goodness Dave and Ross were there, and they assisted me and they helped me and they got me where I needed to go. So without those guys, if I would have did that by myself, I would have been literally up shit creek without a paddle. You got to look at it like that. But it's kind of one of those things, like, I don't even know if it's knowing, but I don't ever want to not do things because AMN and what it does, but it kind of was like a reminder that I have to be careful, but I have to be careful over tripping over things. Like, again, the entire trip, like I told you, I went to Reno, no problem. I walked all over the place, and no problem, with a half of a good leg and a cane, and I was fine. But off I get, and I trip over one thing, and that was like the downfall, and that was it. But then I was worried of okay, is my leg going to be good enough so I can go to the airport today? I flew today. Luckily, yes, it was fine. I was able to good, and I did a ton of walking because then I flew to Philadelphia, and it landed in the international terminal, and I was parked in, this was the A terminal, I was parked in the C, and I had to do it. That was a long walk. I didn't remember what floor I parked on, so I was walking all over the place, and knock on all wood, I had no problems. It's just I just can't trip over things. You can't and I can't make it up. It sounds so silly. If it was a hand sanitizer dispenser, which I think it was something like that. That is so silly. And then again, the bellhop today is are you gonna sue them? Circa being, I'm like, for one, no. I'm like, so shame on them for keeping people sanitary. But I'm like, kind of like how I put it with my other friend. I'm like, so if I'm in a restaurant and I trip over a chair, what? Are they not supposed to have chairs in a restaurant? That's on me. That's AMN, and I don't know. I'm like, and I just want to, get out of the situation as fast as possible. That includes suing them for whatever reason, and it's but. So yeah, there's my Ken with AMN update. It made for a fun, interesting Vegas trip. I've got a cat behind me, I think, but. The mobility scooter was awesome. Yeah, by the way, just saying. Even when my leg felt better, I reserved it for 3 days for $150. I rode that sucker all over the place, and it was fun. So yeah, I would probably get one of those again. But so man, it kind of made my vacation weird, but again, at the same time, I modified. I got the scooter. I went where I needed to go. I had a blast. I did what I was going to do anyway. So, just modify. If you're from Tony Horton from the, what is it? Oh, I'm drawing a blank. He does what is it, 100-day, what is it? Oh, I can't think of it. But it's like the fitness program, we do it for 100 days, and he's always like, modify. I'm horrible. Because I did it way back before AMN started, and as I tell everyone, I almost had a six-pack. If I really sucked it in, I almost had a six-pack. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. But there's a Ken with AMN update. I'll probably have another update coming soon on the clinical trial, which I don't know if I ever posted. The FDA had put a clinical hold on it, but now I'm getting my drugs back, so that's good news. So, and I got a cat behind me knocking things down. Hopefully you're having a good time. But there you go. Keep them feet moving, everybody. See ya.